Okay, so we are living through a full-blown AI explosion, right? It feels completely new, totally world-changing, and honestly a little bit dizzying. But here's the thing. To really understand where all this is heading, we actually need to look back to another time of revolutionary hype that looks, well, a lot like this one. I'm talking about the dot-com boom and, of course, its spectacular bust.
I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. In just a handful of years, the entire world went from, what's a website? To complete mania. By 98, you had giants like Amazon and Google being born. A year later, in 99, the idea you could buy literally anything online felt like actual magic. And then, poof. By 2001, so much of that magic just vanished in one of the biggest market crashes in history. But, and this is the most important part, the internet itself didn't die. Not even close.
And that brings us right back to today. Because AI is just as real, just as powerful as the internet was. But it's also caught in the exact same cycle. It's this mix of genuine, earth-shattering revolution and just completely irrational hype. So the real trick, for all of us, is figuring out how to tell the difference between the two. All right, so let's be crystal clear about this. AI is not a fad. It's not just another trend. This is a fundamental platform shift. You should think of it less like a cool new app on your phone and more like a new form of electricity, something that's going to change not just the tools we use, but how we think.
So what's the core difference here? Well, think about it like this. The internet was all about connecting information. It put the world's libraries in your pocket. Revolutionary, right? For sure. But AI is about connecting intelligence itself. It's like building a brand new nervous system for the planet. That's a whole different level of transformation. And this isn't some far-off, futuristic dream. This is happening right now, today. AI can already write, it can see, it can listen, summarize, reason, translate languages, and even write computer code. This stuff is already out there, embedded in the real world, and what it can do is, frankly, astonishing. But, and this is a huge but, with all that incredible potential comes a massive warning sign. Because for every truly solid innovation, you're going to have dozens of hollow ideas that are built on nothing but hype. It's time we talk about the big cautionary tale for our time, the coming wave of what I'm calling Pets.AI. Every tech revolution feels for a moment like it can just defy the laws of economics. There's this feeling in the air that growth is all that matters, that getting users is more important than profit. But here's the thing about gravity. It always comes back. Eventually, a business has to actually make money. So let's define our term here. What is a Pets.AI? Simple. It's a startup that looks amazing on the surface. It's got a slick demo, it's got all the right buzzwords, but underneath, there's no real business model. It doesn't exist to solve a real problem. It exists to ride the massive wave of investment that comes from just having the letters A and I in your name. And these companies, they're going to be the casualties of the correction that's coming. You've heard the saying, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Well, this is a perfect example. Back in 1999, the mantra was every company needs a website. Today, it's every company needs an AI model. And look, in both cases, there's some truth to it. But the real value isn't just having the thing. It's what you do with it to build a real sustainable business. To really get this, we have to talk about the original Pets.com. This company was the absolute icon of the dot-com bubble. It had that famous sock puppet mascot, it had ads during the Super Bowl, it was everywhere. It went public with huge hype at $11 a share. You know what it was worth 9 months later? 22 cents. So why did it fail so epically? Because it made a classic mistake. It confused a great brand with the real business. People loved the sock puppet. But you can't build a company by shipping 40-pound bags of dog food across the country while losing money on every single sale. The dream was fantastic. The math, though? The math was just brutal. But this whole story is about way more than just a market bubble. There is a much deeper collision going on here. A fundamental conflict between the world that AI is creating and the world we all live in right now. It is a battle between two huge ideas, abundance and scarcity. Just stop and think about it for a second. Pretty much our entire civilization is designed to manage scarcity. Our economies, our laws, our entire power structures, they all exist to figure out how to distribute limited resources, whether that's food or jobs or opportunities. Scarcity is the basic operating system we've been running on for centuries.
And then along comes AI, and it just completely breaks that model. It promises abundance. All of a sudden, things like knowledge, creativity, even intelligence itself can be copied and reproduced infinitely for almost zero cost. It's like trying to install a brand new operating system on hardware that's centuries old. It just doesn't compute.
And you can see these two worlds crashing into each other everywhere you look. Take our education system. It rations learning through things like degrees. But AI offers a world-class personal tutor for every single child on Earth. Or look at our economy. It ties our survival to having a job. But AI can automate huge chunks of that labor. We are literally building this incredible new infrastructure of abundance right inside our old, creaky institutions of scarcity. And this gets to the most crucial point. The real bottleneck here isn't our ability to build more powerful AI. We're getting really, really good at that part. The real bottleneck, the real crisis, is in our imagination. Can we redesign our social systems to actually handle the abundance that AI is creating? So what happens next? What happens after the hype finally fades and the inevitable market correction shows up? Is that the end of the story? No way. In fact, that's when things get really interesting. Remember, the dot-com crash wasn't the death of the internet. It was the moment the internet finally grew up. All the noise, all the nonsense got cleared away, and that allowed the real, sustainable companies to get to work building the future. The coming AI correction is going to do the exact same thing. It's a necessary pruning that ultimately makes the whole ecosystem way, way stronger. Think about that timeline. The internet went from being in crisis in 2001 to basically conquering the world by 2005. That's how fast this can happen. So AI won't die in some future correction either. This technology is going to define the rest of our century, period. And as we look toward that future, we have to understand what the real glut is going to be. It's not going to be an oversupply of computer chips or servers. It's going to be an oversupply of possibility. Just a staggering abundance of creative, intellectual, and productive power, more than our old systems even know what to do with. So when you boil it all down, this isn't a technical challenge anymore. It's a human one. We are building the infrastructure of abundance at an absolutely incredible speed. So the real question we have to ask ourselves isn't how much AI we can build. The real question is, what kind of world are we going to choose to build with it? That is the question that will define everything.